It's another beautiful Friday here in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, and it's time for the arena on iBrandTV. It's coming to you from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Samson Oloide, and it's time for cricket on the show. You know how we do it. The Club Cricket Committee League commences tomorrow, and we'll be reviewing that. There's the Division 1 and Division 2, and there's a clash of titans, so to speak, talking about the opening match of the league season, and that's going to be between the defending champions and the runners-up, talking about Ibeju Cricket Club. So there's so much on the show. I've got Shinwa Jidagba joining me right now to preview the commencement of the league, which, as I stated earlier, will begin tomorrow, the 11th of December. Shinwa Jidagba, welcome to the show.
Good of the season to everyone on iBrandTV, and it's a pleasure to be in the arena to talk the best sport in the world, which is the great and passing game of cricket. And you rightly stated it, that the league that has been halted for several months,
yes,
it starts tomorrow with a big bang.
Definitely. So let's delve into it. There's Division 1, there's Division 2. You have the University of Lagos Cricket Oval as one of the venues for the league matches. But it's about the biggest one. Let's talk about that, because all eyes are on that particular match. You have the defending champions against the runners-up. Whenever these two play, it's always competitive, it's always intriguing. There's so much to look forward to. What should we expect?
Well, after months of hiatus, not playing the cricket league is finally back, and like I said, it's back to the big bang. We have presently 16 teams, 9 in Division 1 and
2, yes.
And according to the chairman of the Club Cricket Committee, Mr. Accidentally, he said what they have in Division 1 is part of the prerequisite for ratification of your league by International Cricket Council,
okay,
who are the world leading body as far as cricket is concerned.
Okay.
So the rule says that if your league is to be recognized globally, you must have not less than 8 teams in Division 1. But Nigeria, the Club Cricket Committee League has 9 even in Division 1. And I think those to say that the Club Cricket Committee League is the best league in the whole of West Africa. So just very quickly, the teams that we have in Division 1, we have Rocks of Abeokuta, Government College by the Old Boys Cricket Club, Government College Daily, Foundation Cricket Club, which is the oldest cricket club in Nigeria. Asian Cricket Club, Rising Stars Cricket Club, who just gained promotion from the Division 2 playoff to Division 1. Same as Federal Government College, Warri Old Student Cricket Club, the Cricket Club, one the defending champion and 1,004 stars. While in Division 2, we have things like St. Benedict College 1 and 2, Ibadan Metropolitan Cricket Club, Pioneer Cricket Club, Igobi College Cricket Club, Island Titans, and the 22. We are expecting 5 months of uninterrupted cricket activity, all other things being equal. Why I said all other things being equal is if there is no national team assignment, this league should end in 5 months.
That's May next year.
Because 16 teams are going to be taking part 104 T20 cricket matches.
Okay.
Because we are moving into what the world wants, which is T20 games, and of course 16 teams will be taking part. Like I actually said, tomorrow at Untitled Chapter is the defending champion, the next cricket club, because Government College by the Old Boys Cricket Club. That game starts at 10 a.m. and at 2 p.m. that same tomorrow we will see Rocks of Abeokuta taking on Government College UKV. But one thing I need to point out very quickly is that this year's season will be sponsored by a friend of the chairman of the Club Cricket Committee League, the person of Honorable Bola Olusegun Ishao.
Okay.
He's a member of Lagos State House of Assembly, who is representing the Club 2 constituency. He said why he decided to support his friend is because there's too much attention on football.
Definitely.
To drink away from football and support other sports. One other thing I also need to point out is that these two battles is usually a very feisty battle.
Definitely.
Because them face off with the big game.
Yes.
So the watch out for players like Mustafa Yusuf, who is the captain of the side. They also look out for players like Leke Oyede, Ridwan Abdulkarim, who was the youngest player at the regional final of the ICC Men's T20 Africa qualifier in Rwanda, Kigali. You talk about players like Chima Akachuku, you talk about players like Prosper Uteni, and a host of them, fantastic squads that they have, Taiwo Mohammed. And when you go to Government College by the Old Boys also, they are not short of personnel. They are captain Tunde Inde, one of the few guys who scored century Chinese almost Viki. You know, you've got Isaac Ope, Sylvester Ope, who is the captain of the
Nigerian national team, yes.
Got injured at the tournament in Rwanda. He had a shoulder injury, he cannot play.
Okay.
But they still got some fantastic players like Chibike Ichoku also, you know, to come into the team. And what I've also getting, first-hand information, iBrandTV and the Arena are the first to get this information.
That's great.
The sponsor, all of that things, really got should be at the venue tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We also have the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, Mr. Hui Apata.
Yes.
Also going to be around tomorrow.
Great.
The chairman and his head coach. So a lot of people are coming to England tomorrow to witness this cracking game of cricket. And like I said, anytime these two face off, really
it's competitive and all.
Yes.
Okay, let me get your view regards the prize money, because this is the league season. 140 competitive T20 matches we expect for the season. It should end sometime in May next year, and we're looking at, you know, having the league ratified by the ICC, talking about the International Cricket Council, with regards to making our own league one of the very top leagues in the world. What's the prize money? What should the winners expect, runners up? And you know, are there incentives, more like, you know, when you win the league or you qualify as the top two from your division, you have some sort of Champions League to play if there's you know, a format like that?
Okay, so what I cannot disclose from this position, because on the Arena it looks like it sound inaccurate.
Definitely.
That for the prize money, I cannot comfortably tell you now.
Okay.
It's definitely something that's going to be mouth-watering, because something, if you see the trophy, I'm able to say that even the board of control for cricket in India,
yes,
organizing the Indian Premier League, the highest paid cricket competition in the world, don't have this kind of giant trophy. Even Alexander Pepperin of UEFA don't have the giant trophy. Gianni Infantino can never boast of this giant trophy. Same as Patrick Motsepe of CAF.
Okay.
It's a big trophy, but that prize money is what I cannot tell you. One other thing they are also trying to do is that Honorable Bolawo Olusegun Ishawa, most of my friends that are in the Lagos State Assembly, I want to bring them on board. There's nothing stopping us from having multiple sponsors.
Definitely.
The Indian is putting the highest paid competition in the world. Apart from the prize money that teams get when they win, there's also reward for player of the match, there's reward for bowler of the match, there's reward for batter of the match, and like that.
Yes.
So what they are trying to do also is to copy that template to say we are not
to create such awards.
For every game there should be a reward.
Okay.
For bowler of the match, for batter of the match, for player of the match. You know, those incentives
yes,
will also encourage the players to do better. But as regards the prize money, I'm sure it's something very, very mouth-watering, because what they are trying to do is to ensure that they have multiple sponsors who will take charge of this and that. And
okay,
as I said again, it promises to be very, very rewarding as compared to what we have
last season. Okay.
I also know that the president of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, in his position from his company, usually gives awards for the month to some certain players. And I'm sure tomorrow he would want to maybe tell us that he has started to upgrade it to this from monthly thing. I want to do every match until we keep our fingers crossed. But just assure that once it breaks, the Arena on iBrandTV will be the first to get the information.
Thank you very much, Chinua Jidagba. Just before I let you go, let's talk about the big one that emanated last night. Leicester City, shockingly, well, not surprisingly, what you consider the opponents, but against the run of play, so to speak, they lost 3-2 against Napoli, and the big news is that they've dropped out of the Europa League to the Europa Conference League. And Brendan Rodgers said he doesn't even know what the Europa Conference league is. What do you make of the match and Leicester City's woeful outing at the Europa League this season?
If you don't do the right thing at the right time, something, you eventually do the right thing at the wrong time. I was expecting sentimentally that Leicester City and Spartak
Moscow.
Leicester City and Napoli.
Napoli rather will go through, yes.
But unfortunately, they had different ideas. In that group, there was nothing stopping them when you had the likes of LIGA, Spartak Moscow, and Napoli. And
definitely.
And that yesterday's game was winner takes all.
Yes.
for Leicester. They needed to win that game, and because they didn't win that game, they had to drop to the conference league. And so Brendan Rodgers, he does not understand. See, if not because iBrandTV with the expansion, but I used to say, I would slap you Brendan Rodgers. But if you don't even understand what the concern is, now you will understand.
Definitely.
One other thing I need to also say something is that
yes,
that win by Spartak Moscow against LIGA
away from home
ensured that they would be qualifying
as the group winners
at the round of 16 of
the Europa League.
UEFA, the Europa League.
Yes.
So it's unfortunate that at the end of the day, Spartak Moscow and Napoli go at 10 points, while Leicester finished on the 8
points.
They have themselves to blame, and they have to learn to live with it. Unfortunately, the likes of police here, and so yes, injuries also affected them.
And COVID-19 outbreak in the team.
They didn't do well. I think they should go and contend with the conference league.
Okay, thank you so much, Chinua Jidagba, for your time on the show today. It's always a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it, and once again, compliment of season to everyone.
Compliment of season.
And the extension of my family at the sports arena, or the arena.
The arena.
Have a great weekend, and let's all meet at the last together where the big band will.
We will be there. You can rest assured.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we return, the show continues, and we'll be talking about the Premier League, where Tottenham Hotspur will have their match against Brighton postponed due to COVID outbreak. Just stick around. Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still the arena right here on iBrandTV, and we're still talking about Premier League football. This time around, it's at Tottenham Hotspur, where they've been hit with COVID-19 outbreak. Over 15 players and coaching crew members have been plagued by this, virus, and it means that their match against Brighton Hove Albion has been postponed by the Premier League. And the reason for that is due to the COVID outbreak. The Premier League has stated that it's all about the safety of the Spurs players as well as the Brighton players as well, because football can't take place when you have a team that is fully infested, so to speak, with COVID-19. Remember that in the UK, it's about the fourth wave, and there are talks of the Omicron variant as well. So there's so much for Spurs right now that they need to do in terms of getting their players healthy and safe and well before they can talk about football. And you can rest assured that there are various measures that will be put in place with regards to quarantine, the players getting vaccinated, and more importantly, the surface, the pitch, as well as the seats being sprayed with disinfectants and what have you, just to ensure that even the fans do not contact the virus when it comes to football action returning to the new White Hart Lane Stadium, which is the home of Tottenham Hotspur. Although they were meant to go away from home to face Brighton Hove Albion, but that has been postponed. Remember, they also had their Europa League match postponed yesterday, where they should have taken on Reims. That's the French national, the French club side, I beg your pardon, but that match has also been postponed. What it means for Spurs is that they need to win, because Vitesse won yesterday, so Tottenham Hotspur need to win against Reims to stand a chance of qualifying from the Europa Conference League. If not, their European adventures for this season is over. And talking about COVID outbreak, now we'll talk about the Premier League, because the Premier League has directed all clubs to ensure that they enforce strictly COVID-19 measures, from social distancing to wearing of masks to proof of double vaccination and negative test results. The Premier League is just ensuring that all 20 teams of ease would ensure that they complied with the directive, because right now you have several club sides battling with COVID-19 outbreak. You have Tottenham Hotspur, as I just mentioned, who have so many players as well as members of their coaching crew plagued with COVID-19 virus. Leicester City, remember we talked about Leicester City losing yesterday to Napoli by 3-2. One of the reasons for the loss is the fact that some of their players had to stay back. They couldn't travel because they were infected or they had COVID-19. They tested positive for it. So it means that you have several clubs battling with these transmissions, and right now the Premier League has instructed all of its clubs to ensure that they enforce strictly. And if measures are not taken fully, what it will mean is that the fans will be denied entry into the stadium. Right now, the new rules in England by the UK government means that when you have attendance of over 10,000 people in a social gathering like football, the match venue for football matches, you should have several measures in place. So social distancing, enforcement of wearing of the mask. You also have proof of vaccination, double vaccination in fact, and that talks of negative test among others. So the Premier League is just ensuring that is the safety of the players and everyone involved. The stakeholders basically is what is at stake at this point. I'm still talking about COVID-19 outbreak, because we must face reality. It's something that is, right there with us. It is our current reality, our experiential reality. Joshua Kimmich, the Bayern Munich defender and German defender, well, is versatile. He can play in the midfield, can play as a defender. Will be out until 2022. There's no specific date for his return, and that's because he has suffered a damage to his lungs as a result of COVID-19. Remember, the German defender or midfielder, if you want to call him that, had been battling with injuries, knee injuries, the last few months, and then in October he confessed, or rather admitted, that he hadn't been vaccinated. But last month he contacted COVID, and unfortunately the COVID-19 virus has damaged his lungs. So he will be out, he will be receiving treatment, and our well wishes are with him at this point in time. Talking about the German defender or midfielder, if you want to call him that. Very versatile, very useful both for Bayern Munich and Germany in terms of the national team. We wish him the very best, and we hope to see him back on the field of play as quickly as possible. There's no return date. We just know he'll be out until 2022. We just hope that he recovers as quickly as he can. His health definitely is paramount. Moving away from there to the weekend matches, we would preview weekend matches. I would have to start from the Premier League. That's the big one. There are so many matches. Let's start with table toppers Manchester City, who will be welcoming Wolverhampton Wanderers to the Etihad Stadium. And for Wolverhampton Wanderers, they are the boogie team to Pep Guardiola's Manchester City over the last 3-4 seasons. If there's any team that has given Pep Guardiola a very tough test, it has to be Wolverhampton Wanderers. Remember, they ran out 2-0 winners last year. So it's a match that Manchester City needs to be wary of. If not, they could drop points in a very competitive, run into the league title at this point. You have 3 teams there locked up in the top. You have Manchester City, you have Liverpool, you have Chelsea, who are third on the list, and all 3 teams, you can fancy their chances of being there by May, when the winner would host the Premier League title. So it's City against Wolverhampton Wanderers. City are right now in a good form. Sterling is back scoring goals. Riyad Mahrez is still doing his thing, Phil Foden. There's a whole lot. They lost in the midweek, by the way, to RB Leipzig in the Champions League, but that was an inconsequential match. It was a dead rubber match because Manchester City had already guaranteed qualification into the round of 16. So I'm sure they will be back to business when it comes to the Premier League, and let's see how they fare against Wolverhampton Wanderers. We'll move away from there to the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea, where they will be renewing rivalry with Leeds United. Yes, Marcelo Bielsa's Leeds United. Now, this is a rivalry that dated back into the 90s when Leeds United were a prominent, fixture in Premier League matches, but having returned to competitive, the top flight football, now they will be going to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea. Chelsea dropped points over the weekend, last weekend, and that saw them drop from first position to third position. And this time around, they will be looking to redeem themselves against Leeds United, that are neither here nor there when it comes to the league this season. They have a fluctuating, season thus far in terms of getting results. So let's see how that goes. Talking about Chelsea, and we should see Chelsea get things back. Lukaku is back. He got a goal midweek against Zenit St. Petersburg in the Champions League. So Chelsea should be able to make things happen when it comes to the match against Leeds United. Let's move away from there to Liverpool. Anfield it is, and it's going to be a sweet homecoming for Steven Gerrard. The Liverpool legend, who played for the club for over 18 years, will be returning to Anfield, but this time around will be returning as the opposing manager, talking about leading Aston Villa to Anfield, where they will take on Liverpool, high-flying Liverpool. As I said, they're second on the table right about now, and with the form of Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota, it's almost like it's just a one-way traffic. You can't look beyond a Liverpool win for this. But do not take anything away from Steven Gerrard's men, 3 wins from 4 games as kick-started Aston Villa's season again, and that's a very good start to Steven Gerrard's tenure. So I'm very sure Aston Villa will fancy their chances of getting a point, but we can't look beyond a Liverpool win in this one. So if you are one of those who predict matches, with your various betting, companies, you want to fancy Liverpool getting the win there. They're at home. It's very difficult to play at Anfield. Let's see how Steven Gerrard's men holds up when it comes to that. Away from there to Carring Road, I beg your pardon, where Manchester United will seek to continue their revival under Ralph Rangnick. This time around, it's going to be against Norwich City away from home. Dean Smith has his hands full for this fixture because he's also trying to steady the ship at Norwich City, having gotten the job less than 4 weeks ago. But for Manchester United, it was a good start for Ralph Rangnick in the Premier League, a lone goal victory over Crystal Palace last week, while for in the Champions League, it was a stalemate. Talking about the match against Young Boys, it was 1-1. It was an inconsequential game, so you probably want to give reasons for United not winning that match. But Rangnick said something post-match which should be a bit of worry for United faithfuls, that the players didn't listen to his instructions. And the football as a whole is oftentimes reflective of the coach's tactical setup on the field of play. So if the players are refusing to listen to him, or they do not listen in the entirety, it's a bit worrisome. But this is the Premier League. It's different from a dead rubber UEFA Champions League game, and you expect Manchester United to be able to get the job done. We'll go on a quick break right now. When we return, we'll talk about the Spanish La Liga, where it's all about the Madrid derby between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. To stay around.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah. For clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean water.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's still the Arena. Now it's time to go to Spain on the Arena, talking about the Spanish La Liga. And it's the biggest match of the weekend, the Madrid derby between Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. It's the match between the table toppers who are running away with the league at this point in time. Carlo Ancelotti's Real Madrid are leading the table with 8 points, while defending champions Atletico Madrid have they have their work cut out when it comes to catching up with their arch rivals, because at this stage it's fluctuating from Diego Simeone's men. There's so much to look forward to at the Santiago Bernabeu. That's going to be the venue for this clash, and it promises to be exciting. Now that doubts about Benzema's availability for the match haven't picked up an injury last week, but I'm sure Real Madrid will be doing all they can to ensure that their leading scorer will be in on this one, talking about the league. Midweek, remember, Real Madrid were comfortable 2-0 winners over Inter Milan, where you had the youngsters making it happen in terms of Marco Asensio getting the second goal. Toni Kroos scored that belter of a first goal. So for Real Madrid, they're in very good form, while for Atletico Madrid, it's fluctuating. They were able to get a 3-1 win on Tuesday night against Porto in a very fierce contest that saw 3 red cards, but for the league proper, it's a different ball game as they are struggling. Let's see if Luis Suarez as well as Antoine Griezmann can, steer them in terms of getting the goals and getting the win over their arch rivals, Real Madrid. This promises to be exciting. You have Carlo Ancelotti for Real Madrid, who is calm, cool, collected, and you have the very combative Diego Simeone on the other hand on the sideline. So let's see if there will be dramas. It should give us the fireworks both on the pitch as well as off it. Let's see how that pans out. For the for those who would like to probably predict about this match, well, the safest bet will probably be a Real Madrid win or draw, because Real Madrid are at home, and when it comes to the form right now, it's all about Real Madrid having the momentum going into this match. So if you want to predict, pundits, you know what it is, you probably want to go for a Real Madrid win or draw. Now, still talking about Real Madrid. Now it's still going to be about their stadium, the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. That's what the Real Madrid Stadium is called. And Real Madrid have been able to secure an extended $255 million loan from JP Morgan as well as the Bank of America in terms of the redevelopment of the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Now, it must be said that the initial loan that the club got was $651 million, and the renovation would include a retractable roof over the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. It will also involve creation of a museum. You'll also have a first-class restaurant, a casino in the mix, and the essence of this is to ensure that the Santiago Bernabeu is able to accommodate as many events as possible. Remember that this renovation or redevelopment, as it were, would also mean that the pitch is retractable, so that it could have other sporting activities, being played on it as well. Remember, for football, it's all about the lush green pitch, but when it comes to other sports, the surfaces differ. A tennis, surface could be grass, as you have in Wimbledon. You could also have clay, as you have in the French Open, and you could have the hard court as you have in the US Open as well as the Australian Open. So Real Madrid are trying to ensure that Santiago Bernabeu is able to host several sporting activities, even including ice hockey, and that means that they would work on the pitch of the Santiago Bernabeu to make it retractable so that other surfaces can come. And the essence of this is that by the time they are done with the renovations or the redevelopment, that the stadium would generate £1 billion. Yes, £1 billion annually from various sporting events. So there's so much to look forward to, talking about the remodeling of the Santiago Bernabeu, but right now that's still a long shot because Real Madrid still have to work to do, and the development plan, or the redevelopment plan rather, will commence by next year. So there's still so much work to do on the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Now, the loan that they've gotten, talking about the extended $255 million loan, has a fixed interest rate of 1.53%. It is the largest in sporting history when it comes to long-term loan deals, and that's something you should look out for, talking about Real Madrid repaying the loan. But the good thing for them is they have a grace period until July 2024. That's when they will begin to repay the loan. So there's so much to look forward to when it comes to Real Madrid's finances for the future. Remember, I said the initial loan was $651 million, and they got an extended $255 million from JP Morgan and Bank of America. Let's see what the new Santiago Bernabeu Stadium will be in another 20-30 years from now. Now, let's end the show with Formula One. It is this weekend. The season finale, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, would be the curtain closer rather for the season, the 2021 season. And the riders who are in the battle for the World Championship. It's 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton, who is going head-to-head with Max Verstappen of the Red Bull team, and both drivers will be racing. It's a winner-takes-it-all. Whoever wins the Grand Prix between the two of them will emerge as the winner of the 2021 Formula One season. Remember, Lewis Hamilton has won 7 world titles. Should he win on Sunday, it will make it his 8th world title, thereby surpassing Formula One legend Michael Schumacher, while for Max Verstappen, he has his work cut out for him to get his maiden title. In the penultimate race of the season, the one that held at Saudi Arabia last week, he got 3 different penalties for various dangerous driving, which also included a collision between he and Lewis Hamilton in Saudi Arabia. So let's hope that both drivers are able to drive. Let's hope that both drivers are able to drive, within the rules of the sport, because sometimes these drivers have the adrenaline pumping and they could just go all the way out in trying to get the victory. They've been warned, I beg your pardon, by the director of Formula One's race competitions, talking about Michael Massey, and it means that both drivers will be on the lookout for it. It's Abu Dhabi, it's taking place. Remember, right now both drivers are level on points, although Verstappen is technically ahead, having won 9 races while Hamilton has won 8. Winner takes it all. Let's see who gets this. Thank you so much for joining me on the show today. Thanks to Shenwa Jidagba, who joined me via the phone call as usual, and then thanks to you, the viewers. You guys are the real MVPs. You make things happen. To everyone who has made this a success, talking about the production crew, I say thank you so much. I'm Samson Oloide. Till the arena comes your way on Monday, do stay blessed and have a wonderful weekend.